So y'all were saying about taking big risk. I think everyone has a different definition of taking risk, right? Because we mentioned this a bit before, right? But I've definitely been taking a lot of risks this year, right? Um, I made a bunch of different videos. Um, I've also changed my branding, or like in the middle of changing my branding. Uh, I've been trying a lot of different games and content, and it's definitely a difference. Like, it's not a big scale risk, but it's definitely a risk in itself. Um, Switch 2, you have a Switch, that's insane. And I I've noticed a difference. It might not be noticeable to you guys, but I have noticed it myself. But it's not massive, right? And I think some of you guys want the massive or the fast growth, which I can understand because like the slow and steady approach is not fun. But as for someone who could barely get like one person on Twitch to getting like 5, it's a growth to me. However, I do recognize also at the same time sometimes my YouTube is just literally dead, and I'm just like, did everyone just convert to Twitch? I don't know. But for everything else, right? I've been having like a difference. Like I stopped just playing Pokemon. I stopped just playing RPGs. I've been playing a lot of different games to see what really works and what doesn't work. Because back then I definitely was not playing Fortnite, right? And Fortnite, I know a lot of people think it's a lot, but like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who came to my channel because of Fortnite like likes to stick around even when I'm not playing Fortnite. And it's like, you know, seeing that is tremendous for when I'm playing other games. Because like there's something someone said, right? They're like, people shouldn't be sticking around for what you're playing. They should be sticking out for your personality, right? And if they're not sticking out for your personality, you're failing, right? And I get their context for that, because like for the longest time, like people would only play games because it would get people in, like, for example, Pokemon, right? Like people would be afraid to switch things up because of losing their fan base. And I understand why, because I lost my fan base when I switched out from Pokemon, right? And trust me, that transition was horrendous, because I went from having 20 average viewers to going back to one average viewer. And it was not a fun time. Yeah, I tell you that, it's not a fun time, as I'm thinking going back to this day. And I wasn't even streaming on Twitch, I was streaming on YouTube, but like the YouTube or the audience for Pokemon, they was not sticking around when I was playing Persona, Resident Evil, or any of that stuff. They were always sticking around for Pokemon. But now I feel like the audience I have will watch besides me playing Fortnite, right? It might not seem like a lot to other people because like it's not like 20 people to 30 people to 70 people at the same time, but from where I was, it definitely feels like it's a growth, right? And then you'll have people, because like the growth is like they want to see their creator grow, they will be tell their creator like, hey, I would you should try collabing with people. And I did collabs this year. And it was, I like doing some collabs. I don't like relying on collabs. But it's it is tough because you shouldn't just do collabs. And the reason you shouldn't just do collabs is because, like, how are you gonna learn how to yap when you're by yourself? Or maybe, like, I get there is a difference, like, if it's like you are like a group of friends doing all this, right? Like people who do reaction videos, like they tend to be with a group of people. But like when you're VTubing, like I think it's because people tend to see a lot of the bigger people do collabs and think, oh, maybe that's the way to grow. And even with Twitch, apparently some people say that in order to grow, you have to have a collab feature, the collab feature, which we did see. Like when you have two different sets of people, you tend to have more people coming in. But I think it's it shouldn't be a reliance, because what if you no longer are with that friend, or what if like you can't find time to be with that friend? And then it's like, okay, then what, can I not stream, or how am I supposed to stream without them? I think that's, I don't regret not doing more collabs, because I think that's something I was able to push a bit, being able to speak by myself comfortably, like kind of like right now, even though I do have a lot of problems where I do say you know, like the not really knowing what to say or explaining what to say. But because I'm not just dealing with other people, like you guys tend to know what I'm more about rather than what I am with another person. Because when you are with a different person, there is a different dynamic compared to when you are by yourself. Like, you guys tend to get these more deeper conversations when you're talking to me, but when you're talking to when I'm with someone else, I'm more focusing on them. So, oh, I'm getting yeeted. I'm getting yeeted. I'm getting yeeted. So, but yeah, someone said the hard truth. You're right though. The older, the higher. Exactly. Like, when you're younger, you're able to have a lot more risk than when you're older. And that's mostly because like the responsibilities might not be as high, or you have more free time compared to if it's just like you when you're older, you're like, dang, I gotta take care of my kids, or dang, I have to do this, or dang, or dang, or dang. Like, is it really a good idea to invest 5K on a model? Like, you know, that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's a scary thing to think about, but it is true. It's true. You should be thinking about that. Let's go. Better than blowing up. VTubing is extremely different to growth. Have you started? I don't want to show my face. And VTubing is harder to grow. I will acknowledge that. VTubing is just a harder way to grow in general because of all the negative connotations, as well as like the genre itself. But we could talk about that in a different video. So, but yeah, what are your guys' thoughts in general? Because I know collabs seem fun and like the risk taking seems fun, but it is also a lot harder and a lot scarier than just like doing it as a hobby first, and then like, hey, I guess people like me, so let's take it all the way now. But yeah, let me know your comments down below. That being said, your girl JJ, bye-bye. Oh, Bingus, I'm getting killed. But no, actually, the audacity. Dang, that is a horrible outro.